What is going on, my broskies? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. In this video, I wanted to bring you guys a showcase video of the newly debuted treasure map character on Global, which is X-Drake, and I really wanted to try and find a piece of content where I could really abuse his special effect. And I found one which is going to be the Usopp and Chopper raid boss, which I personally haven't really taken on in a very long time, so it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. So this is the team we're going to be running. I'm going to be talking about X-Drake after we clear the content, just to give a little bit of my thoughts and opinions about this guy. But for those of you who don't know, he essentially is a slasher captain. You want to be running slashes under him if you do choose to run him as a captain. His captain effect is actually pretty decent. I believe it's a 3.25 times captain effect. Yeah, it's a 3.25, so it is actually really good. Now, as for the other units we're bringing here, it's mainly to try and get around the utility or the debuffs that will be inflicted. So we're bringing utility to get rid of those debuffs, and we are running Legend Zoro V2 as an attack booster. You could probably actually replace him with, like, Time Skip Brook, for example. Like, an int attack booster would be fantastic for this team. We've got Bobbin, obviously, for utility. We've got utility effects with the Viola and also the Ors Jr. But, yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it, and then I'll give my thoughts and opinions, and we'll discuss more about X-Drake after we clear this content. So yeah, it's been a long time since I've actually gone up against the Usopp and Chopper. I did run this specific team with a couple of different units before, and it didn't really go down so well, but I believe this time around it will be a little easier. Now, I'm not going to be running double X-Drake. I'm going to be running an X-Drake with a friend, Luffy and Zoro, and it's just because the fact that Luffy and Zoro are probably the best slasher captain on Global right now, so it kind of just makes sense, right? Well, let's go ahead and jump into it, and then we'll talk about it. So if you guys don't know exactly what X-Drake's all about, you want to be consuming as many strength, dex, and quick slots before you launch his special. Now, as I said, I wanted to try and find a piece of content where we could really abuse his special ability, and we can definitely do it here, because on stage 4 we're going to be having to deal with a barrier, and X-Drake is going to be able to remove that, which is very good. But another thing as well is the fact that Luffy and Zoro, you want to try and consume tandem or Wano slots, for example. So this might be a little bit tricky just because of the way that the team works, but the thing is, we only have to consume 10 strength decks or quick slots to really get the most out of X-Drake. If you wanted to go the extra mile and consume 25 strength decks or quick slots, you could definitely do that. But in my opinion, you don't really need to do that, especially for something like this, right? So let's go ahead and go through it and just try and take as many of these strength decks and quick slots as we possibly can. We also want to try and get rid of the other slots that we have, so that we can just try and, you know, generate some more slots. And as we see there, the Wano slots might be a bit of an issue, but I don't think it'll be that bad. So let's try and consume just more of these slots here and move on to the next stage. Let's see if we can try and, like, not overstall, because overstalling might be a problem, just because we just don't need to stall. We can get through it a lot quicker. This stage is where we're probably going to be getting most of our stall, and we do have a couple of strength decks and quick slots. We could kill the Seahorse with Zoro, but by doing so, we get a Wano slot in the next turn, so let's go ahead and kill with someone else. And then move over to that, try and switch over. Okay, that's fine. We'll go ahead and leave it there. See if we get some more strength decks and quick slots. We do, which is very, very nice. Okay, let's kill this character here. And that's basically all you really need to do. And I do like that X-Drake is a captain. He also reduces damage taken by 10%. So it actually does give you a little bit of time to try and consume those slots. So I think we're actually looking at pretty good right now. I think we've definitely consumed 10 at this point, so, you know, as long as our specials are ready, we can pretty much move on to the next stage. So yeah, that's the main point of this character, is this unit is exceptional at getting through, you know, barriers that are 5 turns or less, or 3 turns or less is more ideal, but he can get through barriers that are 5 turns or less, which is fine. But he also does he does damage after you remove the barriers, which is pretty interesting. Like, this unit is very, very intriguing, and I don't really understand why Bandai decided to create a character such as this. It's a very, very odd choice. But I do like that they give, you know, a little bit of variety when they are trying to create some of these treasure map units. Just make them a little bit more versatile, you know, run different units for different pieces of content, rather than try and recreate the same unit over and over again, just in a free-to-play form. I do like that there is a little bit of versatility here. We do have a couple of deck slots here. Let's go ahead and consume those. Well, okay, we're just going to kill the lobster. That's fine. Okay, so we can actually see how many slots we've consumed here. We've got 18 right there, which is fine. And how many tandem slots for Luffy and Zoro? Only 1. So that's a little unfortunate, but not really much we can do about that. We're going to go ahead and switch. and try and get some more Wano slots potentially. Okay, we'll go ahead and do that. Consume some more Wano slots. And then we'll move on to the next stage after this, because we've already gotten X-Drakes ready to go. So let's go ahead and I'll switch to Luffy, because it would be nice to switch into Zoro for the next stage and just eat up all of these Wano slots real quick. There we go. Okay, so now moving on to stage 4. This is where X-Drake is gonna shine, because normally you'd have to hit with an int orb on this guy in order to break his barrier, and then you'd have to go ahead and deal the damage to kill him. However, we're going to go ahead and use the special ability of X-Drake, which is really, really cool. So, I actually haven't seen the special animation yet. What's the name of his special again? I actually didn't even see. But it looks pretty cool. Toby Ropo's dual edge looking dope as hell. Zubam. And he's going to go ahead and remove the barrier. He removes 3 turns of barrier when you hit 10 strength, dex, or quick slots. And he does a bit of damage there. We are paralyzed. We'll go ahead and switch to Zoro. Use the Ore special because we don't need him in the final boss stage. Just to go ahead and remove that paralysis. And we should be pretty much good to go just to go ahead and attack. I don't know if this is going to kill. It's going to be pretty close. We'll see how we go. See how we go. Okay. No, I don't think we're going to kill. We probably could have gotten away with using the Zoro special, but I think it's a little safer to go ahead and use it in the turn after. So, yeah, we get a little bit of orb shuffling there. That's not a big problem. That's fine. We'll go ahead and just move on here. No problem whatsoever. Okay, so when he dies, I think he gives a special bind and paralysis, I think it was, is what I read. I think it is. So he's got 2.5 million HP. Yeah, there's the paralysis. There's the special bind, which is why we've got the really good sailor abilities of Oars and Viola, because it removes 1 turn of paralysis each, which is like ridiculously good. Okay, so now we have the final boss stage. Final boss stage, it has all the different mechanics of changing typings. We get a full board of block orbs, which Viola can change into matching. Viola is such a good rare group, by the way, especially for slasher characters in particular. The defense is kind of annoying, but we've got Bobbin to remove that. We can get some matching slots. We've already got Wano slots on Zoro and on Bobbin as well, which is pretty dope. Let's use Bobbin to remove the defense. Let's go ahead and use Legend Zoro for some damage, and then we'll go ahead and use the other Zoro to use his special to give us the chain lock and also the orb boost. Unfortunately, we didn't get to the next threshold of a 2.5 orb boost. That would have been nice, but it's fine. We'll take what we can get. And let's just go ahead and attack. We do have a chain lock, so we don't even need to hit like certain perfects. Like we can just one tap into the units. So let's see how we go. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, perfect. And there we go. GG. So there we go. X-Drake destroying Usopp and Chopper. Obviously not the most ideal team, but I just wanted to showcase what you can do with X-Drake. So by using his special ability to remove barriers, as well as dealing a crap ton of damage to that unit. You know, some mini bosses on Colosseum specifically, if they have a very, very low turn amount on their barrier, X-Drake would be a really, really good unit for doing so. So there we go. So let's go ahead and just quickly go through X-Drake so you guys understand what he's all about. So X-Drake is a strength slasher striker character. You can see his stats right there are pretty decent. I don't have him limit break expanded. It's just his generic limit break fully maxed out. His captain effect is a 3.25 times slasher attack booster with 10% damage reduction, and he slightly increases the chance of landing on a strength slot, which obviously looks very, very well with his special because you want to try and consume as many of those strength, dex, and quick slots. So speaking of his special ability, it changes your crew's unfavorable slots into matching, which is a pretty nice effect. It's not an effect you're going to be using him for dedicated, like you're not going to be bringing him just for that, mainly using him to remove the barriers, but it is an added effect that he does have, which is good. Then he reduces the enemy's barrier duration and does non-type damage to one enemy based on the number of those slots that you consumed. So if you've consumed 0 to 9, you get 100,000 damage and 1 turn of barrier removal. So in certain situations, maybe it's only 1 turn of barrier that you have to get rid of. It could be a really annoying barrier, like one of those ones where the enemy makes it so it perfects it difficult to hit and he's got a perfect barrier, or vice versa, where it's a great barrier but makes perfects easier to hit. If it's only for 1 turn, for example, you could use it just to pop that, which is great. Otherwise, you can go ahead and consume more slots, and if you consume 10 to 24, 1.5 million damage and 3 turns of barrier removal. And then if you go all the way to 25 or more slots consumed, 2.5 million damage and 5 turns of barrier removed. Now, mind you, it does remove the barrier first and then does the damage, as you guys saw in the clip that we just recorded, so it's really, really nice. If it was vice versa, it wouldn't make any sense, so obviously very, very nice to have. Now, his crewmate abilities, he does give 30 extra base stats to slashes, and also makes his own strength slot carry over when you hit a perfect, which is pretty good. He does have a potential ability of slot bind reduction by 5 turns, critical attack, 80% chance for 7% extra. That's really, really good actually. And he does have a support effect to Basil Hawkins, Jack, and Kaido, adding 7% of his base stats to that unit. And his stats are pretty good across the board. I mean, like 42.5k and 1800 attack. Really, really nice unit to have for sure. That's a pretty solid free-to-play unit, especially if you want to be running like Legend Kaido as a captain and you want to support on him so that he gets a lot of additional base attack so that his end-of-turn damage is enhanced. This is a pretty decent character in terms of free-to-play that you could apply to Kaido for that. So that's the rundown of X-Drake Treasure Map character. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's kind of difficult to try and showcase some of these treasure map characters because you want to try and find the right situation in terms of how this unit can be used, and I really think that this was a good opportunity to showcase X-Drake because I know some people are asking how good he actually was. He's niche. You're not going to be using him all the time, but in those very specific circumstances, he's going to help you out a lot. So I think X-Drake is a really, really interesting unit. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video today. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Make sure to do that. We are heading very, very close to 50,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for the continued support, guys. But other than that, I will see you guys within the next video.